nigga right here.
Wake up, count it up, get my money up, keep that semi tuck, cause I know I'm up. Wake up, count it up, get my money up, keep that semi tuck, cause I know I'm up.
Hi, my name is Robert, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be showing you guys the top 5 best drag racing cars in Grand Theft Auto 5. And basically, it will be just a list of the top 5 best cars that I own in my garage that I personally use myself on a day-to-day basis. And basically, number 1 will actually be the fastest drag racing car, but number 2 will actually be the fastest car in the game in general. But if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and let's get right on with it. So the first car that I'll be showing is the D Class A Impaler, and I actually lost the original clip that I used to record, so I had to get another clip this morning. But you know, that's fine. It basically, the comparison was between the Vamos and and every other car after that point. So the Impaler actually beats the Vamos in top speed and in the wheelie if you time it correctly. Now the Impaler, when I first bought the car, I actually had the best wheelie in the game, and it's still probably one of the most slept on cars due to the fact that it is an arena, it has its own arena version. And most people that get the car turn it into the arena war version of the car, and they don't know that the stock version of the car is actually a hidden gem of a muscle car, because you don't really see it. I see more Hellfires than I do Impalers, and the Hellfire and the Impaler are pretty much the same car, except the Hellfire is actually a little bit faster, I think. But in racing, the Impaler can actually hold its own. And I used to actually race it as my race car when I first bought the game, because this was before the Hellfire had actually came out. So this, in my opinion, was actually the best race car in the game when it was fully maxed out. And it basically does the best wheelies out of all the muscle cars, in my opinion, without boost. Even with boost, it's pretty good. And it's actually a pretty good car to own, and it actually costs, I think, about like 300, a little bit over 300k. So it's a pretty good starter muscle car if you want to get into drag racing. And honestly, the Vamos by this point can't even keep up with it if you know how to do the wheelie. It's pretty much a hidden gem of a muscle car as it is anyways. You might as well just cop it, and maybe even just have it in the back of your garage just in case you want to have fun with it. But that's all I gotta say for this car, so let's get right on with the next one, and yeah, let's get on with it. Now the next car is another hidden gem of a muscle car. This is actually where the clips start with me doing the Vamos drag racing, and it is the Hermes. Now this car, when it first came out, did the worst wheelies because it actually had a problem where the bumper would stick to the ground, and the car was pretty much actually forgotten about after that point. But sometime in a couple of recent updates, I think they actually fixed it, and as you can see, it doesn't drag on the ground anymore. And when it does do a good wheelie, it actually is able to keep up with the Vamos. Now this clip doesn't really show it as well because I messed up on the wheelie. But you'll see that the second I hop into the next lane over, it actually can keep up with the Vamos pretty well. And it actually beats the Vamos every other time that it actually is able to catch up to it. And all these cars have a higher top speed than the Vamos does, which is surprising because the Vamos, in my opinion, is the easiest muscle car to wheelie and has the best wheelie. But all these cars kind of have their own little like messed up wheelie. But this is actually going to be the last muscle car that's going to be on this list. And also, side note, this also goes for the Yosemite, not the Drift Yosemite, the regular Yosemite. The Yosemite also would have been on this list, and I think it actually goes well with this car, but they're both practically the same car. It's just one's a truck muscle car, and then this one's the muscle car. And I think I got this car for like $500,000. I don't remember the exact price, but I know it's around that range. And it's a pretty good muscle car, as you can see. You'll see as the suspension raises and I get into the other lane where I don't hit any bumps, because that is the bumpy side of the track. But as you can see, it does a pretty good wheelie, and I actually ended up catching up to him. So you can see the Vamos actually doesn't stand a chance, because the Vamos has a problem where it loses speed after the wheelie, and the Hermes actually pretty much destroys the Vamos in the drag race. Not destroys it, but it's able to keep up and will actually beat it if you time your wheelie right and know how long you're supposed to hold it for. And in my opinion, the Hermes is another really slept on muscle car, because I feel like after I uploaded my video with the Vamos in it, kind of is dated in my opinion, because it kind of shows the old. It doesn't show all the best drag racing cars and what is truly the best drag racing car. And the Vamos, in my opinion, is definitely an honorable mention, or even just a number 6. So I'll throw the Vamos in at number 6, but this car definitely comes in at number 4. But I would have put the Impaler higher than this, but since I lost the clip, I really couldn't do that. And also, the Impaler has a problem again where I think after a certain update, they actually made it to where the wheelies don't work as well. So sometimes you'll get a really good wheelie, and other times you'll just get a really trash one. And this one's kind of a little bit more predictable, and it's kind of just, you don't have to do anything to it to make it wheelie that well. And also, by the time that the Impaler does its wheelie correctly, the Vamos is already halfway down the track, but it will be able to keep up anyways. And as you can see again, the Vamos basically just catch us. It just can't keep up because it has a really good starting wheelie, but a really bad top speed and, you know, just stop. But that's all I got to say for this car, and let's get into the number 3 spot. And the car that we have at the number 3 spot is the Itali GTO. Now, I don't know the exact price of this car because I actually didn't buy it. I won the car off the wheel. And the next 3 cars you'll actually see are cars that I actually did get off of the wheel after I did my one wheel spin glitch. And it basically is pretty easy how to do it. And if you want to watch that video, I actually have a video of it on my channel. You just have to scroll up a little bit on my page. Or if you want me to, I'll actually leave it in the comment section for a link to it. But if you want to see it, then, you know, just like the video, and then, or even just comment saying you want to see it, and I'll definitely put it in the description. Now, the Itali GTO, when it has a good, now you don't really need a good start. Now, I had to cut off a certain part of the video because I actually slowed down to make it better for him to be able to keep back up. But the car basically just destroys the Vamos in every single way. It has a really good start. And when the Vamos has a good start, it's pretty close race altogether. Now, he had a couple of bad starts, so, but, you know, I won't penalize the car for that. But the Vamos can definitely keep up with it, but the Itali GTO is a lot faster than the car. And it basically, no matter what, it just cannot win the race against the Itali unless you either slow down just to make it fair, or you just, you know, you basically just don't do anything to the car. And it's really not really, it's a really good car, I'll give it that. And honestly, in my opinion, it's a pretty good car in general. But before we continue, I just want to thank the Nyon Gamer 204 on YouTube for helping me make this video, because without him helping me make this video, I don't think I could be able to do it, because he actually helps me. As you can see, he's the guy in the Vamos, and he hit me up on my last YouTube video to see if I wanted any help for a video or anything. He actually helped me, which is very nice of him. And I will actually leave his channel link down below in the description if you guys want to check that out. We actually recorded a video on his channel, and I don't think he has uploaded it yet, but make sure that you watch his video, because honestly, it was pretty cool. And I'm not going to tell you guys too much about it, but let's just know, I'll just say that it was a pretty good video. And that's basically it for this car. But it's a pretty good drag racing car, and I honestly will say this: it is a very good car. I don't think I think it's in the sports class, so I wouldn't say it's definitely not the best sports car to drive in a race. It is one of the fastest race cars in the game, but it's definitely not going to be able to stack up against the next car that she'll have on this list. So that's all for right now on this car, but let's get right on to number 2. Now at number 2, we have the good old-fashioned Pariah. Now, the Pariah for the longest time had to have been the fastest car in the game, and it still is to this day, I think. Now, all these cars on this list are things I haven't done anything to. These cars have straight bulletproof tires, so there's no lowering glitches, there's nothing going on. It's just straight, and it's just basically what GTA 5 gives us to work with. And the car basically just dominates no matter what. Now, the Vamos once it does get a good lead on the car, you would think that the Vamos would be able to beat it. And I've actually raced my Vamos against a guy in a Pariah before, where I basically at the start of the race destroyed him. But the problem with Pariah is it's just so fast for no reason that it actually just catches up no matter what. And it would have been number one, but this car had to be faster. Not in top speed in general, but just in the fact that it has a great launch, and it just I've raced the Pariah against it, and it just couldn't keep up. And it could keep up after a while, but if the strip was longer at the airport, it would definitely be able to keep up, and it would make drag racing a lot more interesting. But I am pretty sure the Pariah is a couple mil, and I will actually leave all the prices for all the cars down in the description, and also I will leave the timestamps for when all the cars come up. Now, I actually did test on this car solo with different times, and it actually was in my rat truck tutorial video on how fast the rat truck is compared to the fastest non-glitched vehicles in the game. And I got around 18 to 19 seconds with this car. And actually, no, I think I got around 20 seconds with this car on this long drag strip. Now, we were doing the shorter, where we started the white line instead of starting back at the lights, which was, I think it would have been better if we started back at the lights, just to because the wheelie really needed some more room, because those lights on there are not smooth whatsoever, so they just run them over so easily. But hopefully in GTA 6 we actually get a proper drag racing track, or even just an area where we could drag race our cars long enough. So maybe, making the airstrip longer in GTA 6, maybe, I don't know. But yeah, the Pariah honestly is a really good drag racing car, and it's actually one of the best drag racing cars, and it would have definitely been at number one if this car wasn't made to be so good. And honestly, I will say this car honestly is probably the most scariest car to go up against in a drag race, because unless you use the rat truck, you're probably not going to win it, because it's definitely the fastest starting car. So let's get right on with that one. And at number one, of course, it had to be this car. It's the car that every car guy hates to see at a drag race. It is the Coil Cyclone. Now, this car is the first car, I don't know if it's the only car that can do it, but it can do a front and a rear wheel burnout. Now, the problem with the Vamos is the fact that every single wheelie car in the game cannot make enough power or even hold the wheelie long enough to keep up with this car. Now, this car honestly is really only good in drag racing. I would not race this car, because even though it has a good starting speed, it has a really trash top speed, even compared to the Devastate 8 or the Nero Custom. And I've actually had races where my friends, we even had ketchup on, and this car couldn't even keep up. Now, the car has a really good start, but that's all that it really has. It doesn't have a good top speed. I think the Impaler actually has a higher top speed, if you believe it or not. And this car, but this car is racing strictly for drag racing. So it's gonna, no matter what, it just has a really good start. And if you really want this car so bad, I would have honestly got it from the wheel. I didn't really like the car when I first got it, because I didn't know that it was that fast. But it's such a good car that I wouldn't even pass it up. It was actually a pretty good car. I'm happy that I got it, but I basically just kept it looking stock as all possible. I don't know why there's an exhaust tip on the car when it's electric. But that's all I got to say for today's video, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Those are the top 5 best drag racing cars that you just got to have in your collection. And if you want to see any more videos like this on my channel, just comment that down below. And like and subscribe, share with your friends. And also go show the Nyon Gamer some love on his channel when he uploads his video. I will leave his channel link down in the description. But that's all I got to say for today. And I really hope you guys have a great rest of the day. And let's get to 300 subscribers, because we hit 200 the other day. And I thank you guys so much for that.